sows it.
Yes, thank you. So the generous soul will be blessed. So brothers and sisters, do you want God to bless you? Be generous. Just like when you go out with your friends, right? Some people, they are very generous. Oh, no problem. Today I treat you, right? You know, told people who are generous, they are pretty easygoing. They have a lot of friends outside, right? If somebody who is very stingy, oh, during the paying of the bill, he always say, I go to the washroom. Oh, they say, oh, you know, I forget the cash. I forgot to bring cash. And other people say, okay, I'll pay you. I'll pay for you. Next time you do the same trick. Oh, I don't have cash. I'll e-transfer you afterward. But you go home, you never e-transfer. You kind of trick other people to pay you the bill. Now, sooner or later, all your friends disappear. People don't like a stingy, calculative person. So you got to be generous if you want to be blessed by God. Especially when you go to society, when you are outside, people observe you, right? Now, concerning wealth, do not be deceived by it. It's not more is better. Wisdom is not about getting more and more. Try to be the richest person in the church, in the whole city, in the whole world. Let's look at the prayer of Agur in chapter 30, verse 8 to 9. Tatiana?
Proverbs chapter 30, verse 8. Remove falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food allotted to me. 9. Lest I be full and deny you, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal, and profane the name of my God.
Thank you. This is a very good prayer by Agur, which pray that God give him two things. He must want to have it before he die. One thing is keep falsehood and lies far from me, right? Do not be deceived by falsehood and lies. We just mentioned for the past few days, devil will try to give us a lot of lie about a lot of concepts about success. What is success? So the more is better. The devil will try to give you lie concerning your sexual desires. He tell you, gratify it. You don't have to get married. You just sleep around. Or devil will give you a lie. Marriage is not one husband, one wife. It could be homosexual. The devil will treat you a lot of lie. That, oh, your wife cannot satisfy you, go out find another woman. Or look at a porn. You know, keep falsehood and lies from me. You know, this world is full of lies. So how can you keep yourself from lies? You read the Bible. You learn the Word of God. You come to seminar. You listen to the truth in the life. And then you can discern what is right and wrong. Now, another thing he prayed for, he didn't want to be too poor and too rich. He didn't want to have poverty, nor do he want to be super rich. Now, it is easy to understand that I don't want to be too poor. Why? Nobody likes to be poor. Because you're too poor, you don't have money to buy your necessities. Right? You can be so poor that you even don't have money in your bank. But nowadays, in your generation, I don't think any one of you are experiencing poverty as such. Right? At least you have a computer, right? If you don't have a computer, you cannot come to this Zoom class. So if you have a computer, you're not that poor. You have a room to stay, you are not homeless, right? You have meal to eat. When I go to Africa, a lot of members are very poor. They live under $1 per day. Their parents go for earning, maybe they can bring home just like $1 equivalent of the local currency. They don't have computers. Some of them, they don't even have shoes to wear. They go to the school bare feet, right? Some of them, they don't eat lunch. They only have one meal a day. And sometimes they told me if the father didn't have a job, didn't bring home money, they would just go hungry that night. Very sad, right? But even then, they did not forsake God. They keep their faith. But for us, if we are too hungry, Sometimes too hungry is the test. Why? Because if you're too poor, you may steal. You may go to stealing from other people, right? You may go to steal other people. So we pray that God will not let us to go to too poor, right? After we graduate, help us to get a job so that we can support ourselves, right? We don't have to ask my parents for money anymore. You know, you graduated, you're big already, you're adult. You shouldn't be asking your parents for more money. If you need money, you go to find a part-time job and then graduate, find a job. And that is the most important thing. You have to learn how to grow up. Don't let us to be poor. But this prayer of asking God, don't make him too rich, too much money, is difficult. Because who doesn't like more money? However, the problem is, okay, first look at our church. Let's look at our church, right? In our church, some people are rich, some people are poor, from a poor family, right? However, in our church, we have very few people who are super rich. Like they're so rich that they go to the newspaper and people interview them, right? Or the CEO of a big company. In our church, it seems that we have very few people who are like super rich. And maybe we have millionaires, but we don't have billionaires, probably. Maybe, I don't know. If they are very humble. If they are some billionaires, maybe they are so humble, they don't show their wealth, right? But definitely we don't have like a Fortune 500 CEOs or very rich people in the church. I think God intended that way. Because if you are very rich, it's very difficult to keep the faith. Let me repeat. If you are super rich, of course, nothing wrong to be rich. Money is not evil. Money itself is not evil. But if you are very rich, it's very difficult to keep the faith. Let me tell you why. What are the first reasons? First reason, stay here. If you have too much, you'll be proud and disown God. Let's look at the very capable or very rich people in the world. How many of them really believe in Lord Jesus Christ? Very few. Look at Jeff Bezos. Look at Bill Gates, right? Look at Elon Musk. Are they Christian? I doubt, right? I don't think so. Those people are very competent. They're super smart. They are not ordinary people like you and me. They think differently. And they work very hard, of course, but they are super smart, right? But because they are so smart, they don't have to rely on, they think they don't have to rely on God, at least for now, right? Of course, until the day they die, they will be afraid maybe. But they don't think that they ever need God to be so successful. They will not attribute the success to God. So when a person becomes so rich, suddenly he may think that it's by myself. I rely on myself. I gain all this money. Even if you are beginning by believing in God, but when you reach to the certain place, you are so proud. You may not believe in God anymore. I see in church sometimes some people come with a very humble background. When they were very humble, they rely on God. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, they come to church. But when they open a few supermarkets, they open a few companies, wow, they're so busy. They don't have time to come to church. They think, oh, I have to work harder to rely on to grow the business. So the second reason why rich people, Jesus even mentioned, it's difficult for the rich to be saved, to enter the kingdom of God. Why? Secondly, it's about time. The busier you are, the bigger the business, sometimes the less time you have, right? Of course, it's not absolute. You can be very poor, you can still be very busy. But being a rich person, you have so many meetings to attend, you have so many companies to care for. And then even on the Saturday, weekend, you have to entertain guests, you have meetings, or you want to go to relax from the stress. So being so rich is not easy. I know some billionaires, they even work like 7 days a week, 10 days, 12 hours a day, even up till 90 years old. 90 years old, they don't retire because money doesn't allow them to retire. So third reason why too rich is difficult for keeping the faith is too many material to occupy your mind. Your mind becomes very occupied most of the time. Not only your time is not enough, but your mind, think about you have 10 companies to manage. Think about you have 1,000, 2,000 employees under you. You need to think every minute. It's not easy. Not everyone can handle this stress, right? The fourth reason why riches make it harder, because of temptation. When you have much money, temptation also increase. You have power, you have the money at your disposal. You can do anything you want almost, right? And the woman can come to you because you're rich, especially if you're a man, you're a very successful man. A lot of successful men, their marriage are broken because they face so much temptation. So much women, they throw themselves to a successful businessman. All the mistresses, a lot of successful businessmen, when their business become very successful, their marriage also fell apart. They forget who they are. So that's why deceitfulness of wealth, as we mentioned here, it isn't the more the better. The key word is not more. The key word is balance. What arguer prayer is about balance, right? Coordination. Just like I overheard someone, she said, "Oh, I didn't know when I exercise, my balance, my coordination wasn't that good," right? You got to have balance, otherwise you fall, right? Yeah, you are so busy in career, but do you balance it with your family? Do you have time? And the most important thing is, do you put God first, right? If you lose your footing, if you lose your faith, if you lose your priority, just like what it stands is not on the rock. If you stand on a sand, if you stand on a moving ground, you'll fall. You'll fall. If you don't put your hope in God, if you don't put God as the first priority, no matter how smart you are, how much money you earn, doesn't matter. Right? Look at Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos. You know, their marriage fell apart. They all have affair, commit adulteries. Of course, they are not Christian. They will not admit that they commit adultery, right? But you notice the facts. They do a lot of things at the back of the wife, messing everything up, and then at the end, divorce. But of course, they got money, right? They think, I got money, in the future I can get another wife. But for us Christian, we know this is not our value, right? So balance is everything. Do you have balance? Now, if you are a college student, you don't even know how to balance your life. If you don't know how to put God first in this footing, in the future, how can you balance it? So right now, when you are in university or college, you're getting busier. That is the best time to practice your priority, your prioritization. God always first, right? And then secondly is my health. I have to sleep early, I have to exercise. I don't want to waste myself in front of my computer for days and hours. And then I have to study, time management. I want to make sure I pass all the course and get as best grade as possible, right? Because this world is competitive. I want to do my best. I should not compare myself with others, but at least I try my best, right? And then I find time for do church work. So do not pray to get rich. I know a lot of people, when they pray, they just want God to bless them, make them get rich. But the wiser prayer is, God, do not make me too poor and do not make me too rich. I just want to have enough is enough, right? I want to put you first. I don't want to forget you and become proud, right? I want you to help me to keep my faith. That's most important, right? Let's read chapter 10, verse 15. Proverbs 10:15. Justina.
Verse 15. The rich man's wealth is his strong city. The destruction of the poor is their poverty.
Now, even though we say riches are not everything, but the fact is, rich men rely on their money and they become the strong city. If you are very poor, if you are broke, then also give you a tough life, right? So that is a fact. That is a fact. However, we don't want to rely on our riches. Yes, we may have money sometime in the future, or some of you, your parents are quite well off, but don't set your heart rely on it. Right? Let's read 11 verse 28. Ariel law. Ariel law. Is she here? No? Okay, Shani Lin, can you read 11:28?
Verse 28. He who trusts in his riches will fall, but the righteous will flourish like foliage.
Overall, this wealth, thank you, tells you the more is better. Look at the rich people, Fortune 500, ranking of the rich people. But whoever trusts his riches will fall one day. Yeah, it seems that they are very powerful right now. But the Bible tells us don't trust on our riches. Trust in God, right? Trust in God, the Lord. One day the riches will be useless. One day. That day is coming. One day, chapter 11, verse 4 tell us, chapter 11, verse 4, let's read verse 4. You know Lynn from Toronto?
Chapter 11, verse 4.
Yes.
Verse 4. Riches do not profit in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death.
Yes. This is the correct view of money, of wealth, right? It will not save you from the day of wrath. What does it mean, day of wrath? The judgment day. You cannot give all your money to God from your bank saying that, oh, save me from hell, save me from eternal punishment. No, you cannot. Or the day of your dying, you cannot tell God, you know, God, this is all my money, give me another year. No. Yeah, money is very useful right now, but there will be one day, 1 hour, that money is totally useless. It cannot deliver you from death. It cannot deliver you from punishment. So don't put all your hope, all your reliance on money, right? Yeah, money is just like a tool. You're in a toolbox. You know, you have toolbox in your house, right? Your daddy probably have a toolbox in the garage. There's so many tools, like screwdriver, drills, everything. Those are tools to do a certain job. The tool itself is useless unless you use it to fix something, right? The tool itself sitting there is useless unless you use it. Same, money itself is a tool. Your goal is not to store up more tools, but your goal is to use whatever tools you have to achieve your purpose. It really depends what is your purpose, right? For different people, the purpose is different. For us Christian, the tool, this money is for us to feed our family. Okay, if I want to get married in the future, I need some saving, right? I'm going to raise up my family. I need a stable job, provide stable income, right? I need to pay mortgage. Okay, that's understandable. That's fine. And I need to use the money to help church work, right? I need money to help church work to let's say the church is buying a new chapel. You got to offer more than the tithe, right? I know, overseas mission, they need money. They need to build a chapel in Africa. They need a lot of volunteer worker to go there. They need to buy RE materials, books, everything. So your tool is to help to achieve those purpose. For internet ministry, need a lot of money. Oh, you can donate, you can offer to God. But earning more money itself is not the goal. You see, I want to earn money because I want to serve God. I want to love others. I want to help others. Right? But nowadays, unfortunately, a lot of people earn more money just have one goal. If they don't have God in their heart, what is that? People want to earn more money because they want more enjoyment. They can buy expensive cars, expensive clothes, expensive watches, big mansion just for them to enjoy. They don't use the money to glorify God or to help others. But for us, we are different. Yeah, there's nothing wrong to earn money. You can go to earn money. Yeah, if God bless you with a good brain, opportunity, skill, you earn money, but not to glorify yourself, not to enjoy by yourself. Only you do it for God. I know a brother who loves God very much. Over all his lifetime, he have donated so much money to the church, especially to buy a chapel. And every time I'm going to Africa, he called me. He said, "Hey, do you need anything in Africa? Does Africa churches need money?" He said, "I've stored up some amount." I know him. He lived a very simple life. He didn't overspend on expensive items, but he saved his money looking for opportunity to offer to church. So every time I tell him there's a project, he's very happy. And I tell him, okay, just offer directly to the church account. Don't give it to us to bring it to Africa. You offer it to the IA account. He said, okay, I'll do it. Sometimes he heard about, some member in Africa, they're suffering. They don't have money to buy food. They don't have money to pay rent. Or the Africa, our preachers, they don't have money for the living allowance because the church is too poor. They cannot pay them. Oh, the brothers help out. So do not be deceived by money. Just think that I use it for myself, right? And of course, do not use unrighteous gain. Do not rush using usury or unjust gain increase your substance. Let's read chapter 28, verse 8. Ivan Wang.
Chapter 28, verse 8. One who increases his possessions by usury and extortion gathers it for him who will pity the poor.
Thank you. So many people in the world, they use unjust gain. They try to use trade, they try to use ungodly or unjust, inappropriate business transaction to deceive the customer money, right? Sometimes we heard about, that financial institute blew up. They were investigated. They were doing inside trade, or they cheat the customer, right? Look at some years ago, the subprime mortgage in USA triggered the global financial crisis. Well, because some bank, they sold the unworthy, bad financial product to retiree, right? To other people, to make them lose so much money. So because the financial world, the business world is full of greed. In the financial world, under capitalism, they want to maximize return. They want to maximize shareholder profits. And there's so much greed in the capitalism. The more is better, right? They want to get more and more and more. And that's why so many people are mistreated. Some company, even they cut corners, they make bad products, or they mistreat their employee. They earn billions of dollars every year, but they treat their employee like only minimum wages, long hours, bad environments, right? A lot of social injustice. But if one day you become a boss, right, you don't just only look at the figure. You look at your social responsibility. You know, some company, even though they earn a lot of money, but they keep laying off staff, right? Or cut their wages. A lot of people lose their livelihood just because of the greed of the management, right? So if a person use ungodly gain, increase his wealth, but at the end, they will lose it. They will lose it. Yeah, for a short period of time, you will earn something. But in the future, you will lose it to those who fear God. Now, just a few advice from the Proverbs on how to avoid being poor in the future, right? Nobody like to be poor. Nobody like to be poor in the future, right? We want to live a middle life, right? Balanced life, but we don't want to go broke. Then the book of Proverbs gives us some idea of not being broke, not going into poverty. But one important statement here is God's blessing. We need the blessing of God to bless us into a financial moderation, financial middle ground, not too poor, not too rich. And this verse is very important. Let's look at 10:22. Edward Yeung, 10:22.
The blessing of the Lord makes a person rich, and he adds no sorrow with it.
Yes, it is the blessing of God to make us rich. But the rich here is the moderation. It's not like super rich. Because if a person is super rich, there may be more sorrow more sorrow. As I mentioned just now, why super rich is very difficult to go to heaven. Because more sorrow come with it. You have more troubles. So the blessing of the Lord make us rich or make us abundant, but will no sorrow come of it. The devil also can make you very rich. How do we know? You know, it is not only God who can make you rich, but the devil, he can even make you richer sometimes, right? When Jesus Christ was tempted by the devil told him, worship me, and I'll give you all this splendor. Because everything under heaven was given to me. Yes, the devil has chance to make you rich. But when you are rich, too rich, sometimes you have problems. Sometimes you have problems. So do not believe in the lie that more is better. And do not believe in the devil, even though he can make you rich. You know, I heard a testimony. There was a brother who always want to get rich. He always want to get rich to the point that every day he daydreaming, oh, how can I get more money? And then he always buy lottery, 649, right? Always buy lottery, but he never win it. One day he had a dream. In the dream, the devil told him, you are going to buy lottery. I give you 7 numbers. If you follow all this number, 100% you will be the number 1. You will win the lottery. So in the dream that the devil gave him the numbers of the lottery ticket. Oh, he was very happy. Wow, this time I'm going to get rich. You know. But you know what? The devil also tell him before the devil left that if you buy this lottery, you'll get rich, but one of the family member will die. Wow, he was very scared. Oh, if I buy with this number, I'll get rich, but one of the family member will die. So he was struggling. Is it true that if I buy this number, I'll win? But if one of, even if I win, if one of my family member die, maybe my wife die, maybe my son die, what will happen? I'll be so sorrowful. So he struggled so much. At the end, he decided, I better not try it, right? I don't want to take the chance if one of my family die. But later, even he didn't die, he go to the TV to check the numbers of the opening. To his surprise, all these numbers are just exact as the devil told him. Wow. So scary. Then the devil knew a little bit about the future too, right? He know what the lottery number is. If he had bought it, he would have become very rich. But at the same time, one of his family also will die. So from this testimony, we know that devil has the power to make you rich if you sell yourself to him, right? If you sell yourself, just like some people, they don't care. They just sell their soul to the devil. They do whatever the devil wants them to do, right? But the blessing of the Lord will make you rich, but will not add sorrow to it. In a moderation, they give you just enough. You live a happy, peaceful life. You can serve God. But of course, you have to work hard. So how do we avoid being one time we're being poor, being in poverty, right? We have to avoid being foolish. If a person is foolish, he'll go to poverty. If a person lack wisdom, he'll go to poverty. Now, do you lack wisdom? If a person lack wisdom, sooner or later, even though his father has a lot of money left for him, but he'll go to poverty if he lacks wisdom. What wisdom? Spiritual wisdom. The deceitfulness of wealth. And also financial wisdom. If you don't have a little bit of common sense financial system, how this money works in the society, then also you'll be deceived. But usually these two things actually kind of combine together. If you have spiritual wisdom plus you learn financial wisdom and you can control yourself, self-control. A lot of people end up in poverty, actually in one word, is to lack self-control. Poverty actually, foolishness lead to poverty, but generally speaking, in another word, is lacking of self-control. If you don't have self-control, you end up very poor. You end up poor, right? So tomorrow we will spend more time talk about how to avoid poverty. But the key word really is self-control. How to control your desire, how to control your greed, how to control your laziness, right? Those things are very important. So I'll stop here. We'll continue tomorrow. Let's all bow our head and pray in silence. Amen.